Welcome back, everyone. The DSS raid on some Nigerian judges and the matters raised a certain attention on Sunday politics on Channels Television, bringing under the spotlight the anti-corruption war of the Buhari government. Mr. Mike Ozekhome, a constitutional lawyer and a human rights activist, has been talking to us from our Abuja studio. Before I come to Lagos here, Chief Ozekhome, how would you describe the raid on these judges? The DSS says it is a sting operation. What do you understand by that? And in the face of the law, is that right?
It's breaking off.
Okay, Chief Ozekhome, if you can hear me now, the raid on by the DSS on some of the judges, how would you describe it? And in the face of the law, is that right? The activities and the actions of the DSS Friday/Saturday morning.
Yeah, before coming to that, very quickly, Sheon, let me, with all respect, most humbly disagree with Mr. President that the problem of Nigeria and the bane of Nigeria is just corruption. That is not correct. There are three problems in Nigeria. The first problem is leadership. The second problem is leadership. And the third problem is leadership. About 3-4 years ago, I was one of the first Nigerians, if not the first, who described corruption as a gargantuan monster that can kill us if we do not kill it. Although nobody has given me any credit for that statement. I was also the one who said that corruption has come to be the 37th state of Nigeria and the wealthiest of all amongst the 36 other states. So coming to this action of the DSS, let me start by saying the action is most condemnable by any right-thinking member of the society. First, we are practicing a constitutional democracy that opposes what we call the rule of law, a theory well propagated by Professor A.V. Dicey. Democracy, unlike a military dictatorship, where matters or things are resolved by decrees and edicts, is not an Hussein Bolt's 100 meters quick dash race. It is rather a marathon race that requires adherence to due process, rule of law, and balancing of centripetal and centrifugal forces that are forever playing within the society. The DSS, by our constitutional organogram and under our legal regime, has its own functions. Its functions are to take care of the internal security of the country. Its counterpart, the DIA, Directorate of Intelligence Agency, is in charge of matters concerning military, while the NIA, the Nigeria Intelligence Agency, is in charge of security matters that extend beyond the boundaries of Nigeria. The three legal entities that are allowed by our laws to go into corruption matters are the EFCC, the ICPC, and the Nigerian police, particularly under Section 4. So their action to start with is footed fundamentally on the ground that they were going beyond their constitutional and statutory mandate. It's like the FBI. It's like the FBI invaded the hallowed presence of the CIA. That is number one. The second one, let us assume, for the purpose of argument, that these judges that they allegedly carried out sting operation, or they call it sting operation. Let us assume that they committed the alleged offenses they are talking about. Don't forget that we're in a system where people are tried by the media. After that, nothing comes out, but that stain, that stigma is no longer removed. I'll give you an example. Sheon, just give me 1 minute more. Dimeji Bankole was the Speaker of the House of Representatives of this country. The EFCC waited for him in his house for more than 48 hours. They badged him, handcuffed him, brought him out like a common criminal, and they termed him corrupt, that he had eaten the money of the National Assembly. How many Nigerians today do know that that man, that the case went up to the Supreme Court, that he was finally absolved? Many Nigerians do not know. Honorable Ihembe was accused of traveling abroad without using his ESTA code. The matter was celebrated and glamorized on the pages of newspapers and in the social media. He was cleared by the judiciary. Many Nigerians did not know that. So, if you felt that some judges have committed an offense, first of all, you procure a legitimate court order, a warrant of search and a warrant of arrest, signed by a judge or a court of competent jurisdiction. That warrant of arrest or warrant or search warrant can only be executed under our laws between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. minus weekday, minus weekends, except where it just specifically says that. Now, look at a situation where a judge is sleeping at 1 a.m. in the wee hours, ungodly hours of the morning. Axes and cutlasses and hammers are used to break down the doors and windows of such a judge on the ground that they want to arrest him. Mind you, they have not yet invited the judge to say, we want to see you. The judge will say, okay. You can even surround his house and say, can we go to our office? And that has to be during the day between 6 a.m.
as we come to our legal studio.
But by doing it between 1 a.m. and 5 a.m.
Chief Ozekhome, let's get some other perspective to your explanation and to the interventions that you have made. Mr. G.T. Ogunye, a legal practitioner, has since joined me in the studio. Many thanks for joining us on the program. You heard the senior advocate there speaking about what the law permits and what the law does not permit in the frame of the activities and the duties of the Department of Security Service. In the face of the law was the invasion, or the raid rather, on those judges is a right in the eyes of the law.
Yes, I'll answer your question, but let me preface what I have to say quickly by saying that corruption is the bane of the Nigerian society. It's affected our development, it's stunted our growth, it's destroyed our country. And I guess that's why the Constitution, and I'm referencing section 15.5 of the Constitution, provides that the state shall abolish all corrupt practices and abuse of power. And since 1999, the Nigerian state has made spirited efforts, quote and unquote, to fight corruption. First, it enacted the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Act and established the ICPC. Second, it established the FCC via the FCC Act. And since that time and time again, the Nigerian state has told Nigerians that it's been fighting corruption. And so, with particular reference to the judiciary, everybody generally agrees that we have serious ethical problems in the judiciary, bordering on corruption. Nobody can deny that. I reference Justice Kayode Esho of blessed memory publicly in this country. He stated that it's shameful that now we are hearing of billionaire judges. Chief Afebelola, not too long ago, also echoed that. It's a senior advocate of Nigeria. So everybody knows that we have serious problems of corruption in the judiciary. And the NJC confirmed that by periodically disciplining judges and showing them the way out. The issue of disagreement is that you just don't tell people that are corrupt, that are caught red-handed, to go home and enjoy their aloof until the isolated and recent recommendation by the NJC regarding Justice Auta of the Kano State High Court that should be prosecuted. How many times has the NJC recommended anybody for prosecution? All those judges that have been fired. In 2004, 2005, 3 judges of the Court of Appeal, so unprecedentedly.
It's a new era. Is it a new era in the NJC?
No.
It's a game as usual.
Yeah. So the point is that we have this issue of corruption, and nobody's denying that. As to whether what the SSS has done is within the ambit of the law, first, let me just quickly dismiss what the Learned Senior Advocate of Nigeria has said. It's quoting an old law, not the new law any longer. As to the manner of execution of warrant of arrest, I refer to Section 148 of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act. It simply says a search warrant may be issued and executed at any time on any day, including a Sunday or public holiday, be it 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m.
In a Gestapo manner.
What is Gestapo? Listen again. Section 149.
When does
just listen, because you see, people are not familiar with the law, and those who should enlighten the public manipulate the law, and they don't disclose what the law has said. Section 149. Where any building or other thing or place liable to search is closed, a person residing in or being charged of the building, thing or place shall, on demand of the police officer or other person executing the search warrant, allow him free and unhindered access to it and afford all reasonable facility for a search. Where he doesn't do that, the law says that they can break up the place, tear down the door and window. Everything is there. So and let me just read it to you.
Go ahead,
so
Mr.
that you know. Where access into the building, thing or place cannot be so obtained, the police officer or other person executing the search warrant may proceed in the manner prescribed by Section 9, 10, 12, and 13 of this Act. And what does it say? 9, 10, 12, and 13 of the Act simply provides that 12, for example, where a person or police officer acting under a warrant of arrest or otherwise having authority to arrest has reason to believe that the suspect to be arrested has entered into or is within any house or place, the person residing in or being in charge of the house or place shall, on demand by the police officer, if he doesn't do that, where access to a house or place cannot be obtained under subsection 1 of this section, the person or police officer may enter the house or place and search it for the suspect to be arrested. And in order to effect an entrance into the house or place, may break open any outer or inner door or window of any house or place, whether that of the suspect to be arrested or of any. So this dramatization, this orchestration.
So what you are saying is that what the DSS did on those judges,
if they have search warrants, and you ask a judge, as it's been said in the media, Justice Ademola, for example, who has a proud pedigree as the grandson of the CJN of Nigeria, come out of your building, a judge. Right. Who, listen, who before he became a judge,
because we need to go on
before he became a judge, was screened by the SSS.
We need to go on this break, Mr. Ogunye, and so you will continue with this line of thought. We'll take a moment and we'll be right back. Join us again.